With Dragon Age Veilguard's release getting closer, my excitement rises, and so does my need to speak my thoughts into the empty void of the internet. It seems there are many mixed feelings on what to do with Solas in this fourth installment in the Dragon Age franchise. Some want him dead, to splatter the eggs, so to speak. Others are neutral, and are waiting till the game comes out to decide how they feel about it. And finally, there are those who like him. Going further, there are the Solavellan lovers, like me, who would end the world with him if I could, like I wanted to do in Trespasser. Yes, I know, I'm down bad. Full Dragon Age the Veilguard spoilers ahead, of course. This video is mostly my own thoughts on what I would like to see in this next game, including some takes from others in the fandom. First off, of course, let's talk about the dual protagonist idea that's been floating around the fandom. Unfortunately, I think that it is very unlikely we will get a full dual protagonist, especially since they changed the name of the game to point more towards the new companions. However, it is confirmed we will be making our Inquisitor in the character creator, so they will be showing up. So fingers crossed I will be proved wrong. The only thing, and I mean it when I say this is the only thing I'm actually worried about, is how they will handle having our Inquisitor in the game. Those of you who played Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition would remember Hawke's appearance in Inquisition. Hawke just doesn't feel like Hawke here, because it isn't your Hawke. Still, overall it wasn't bad. People still have their own headcanons for Hawke to make them theirs, but Hawke overall is just easier to generalize as a character because they are Hawke. But the Inquisitor, everyone's stories are so incredibly different and special to them, making the Inquisitor feel like an NPC in Veilguard would be a huge letdown. I do not see how we can avoid that happening again unless we are allowed to make some choices from our Inquisitor's perspective, especially any decisions that have to do with Solas, since people's opinions of him are so incredibly vast. There seems to be no way they can truly generalize the Inquisitor based on how different everyone's stories are. So, full dual protagonist? I doubt it, though I'm still holding out hope. However, they can't not allow us to pick some choices from our Inquisitor's perspective, right? Now that that's out of the way, what do we want from Solas and the romanced Inquisitor? I scroll through your Dragon Age and Solavellan takes in my free time and devour them. I honestly don't know how I managed to keep myself afloat in this fandom without you guys before this. Thank you guys for breathing life back into my favorite franchise. Let's start with the most obvious, pining. Solas obviously loves Lavellan. It is painfully obvious in all of their scenes together, and especially in Trespasser. It is real. We need something to show Solas' longing and regret for his decisions, hopefully before we even get to meet our Inquisitor in game. That can be displayed in many ways, but the first one and the most obvious idea that comes to mind is murals in the lighthouse. The lighthouse is one of Solas' homes in the Fade, and where the Veilguard will take up residence for the game. Solas had many beautiful pieces on the walls in the room where he stayed in Inquisition, so it is no secret he is an artist. I would love to see a painting or two depicting his love for Lavellan. I imagine it would be hard to have a unique painting since everyone's Lavellan is different for the most part. So what if they were super generalized based off of your Lavellan's new design and the character creator of Veilguard? They could take hair colors and skin colors, or use a few different body models. Okay, that's probably too much, but a girl can dream. If not that, I'm sure they can symbolize Lavellan in a multitude of different ways. Maybe Solas would refer to her as a Hala or something symbolic like that instead of an actual piece of Lavellan herself. There are so many options, and I'm sure they will surprise us with what they actually do. As long as they can convince us that Solas was pining for Lavellan for the last long 10 years, I'll be happy. I also feel that we don't want an instant makeup sesh. Of course, I absolutely want them to make up, but it has been 10 years. I hope there is time for Lavellan to learn more about Solas before they finally meet after all these years. Rook will seemingly have a direct connection to Solas, so I'm sure that will be helpful in that regard. But there is so much about Solas that we and Lavellan don't know. I've heard a few people talk about a rescue mission for Solas who is now trapped in the Fade. I love that idea, and I think if they use the Inquisitor to help rescue Solas, it would be the perfect time for them to learn things about him that they are missing. In this case, it would be interesting to see the dynamic between Solas and Rook and how bringing a romanced Lavellan around to rescue him would change the way he reacts, hopefully in a big, impactful way. And if we don't at least get one kiss scene with these new graphics, I might just delete all my socials and become a hermit. I don't think the devs would do that to us though. They know what we went through for the last decade, okay? Another thing I would really like to be mentioned is the Well of Sorrows. I think as a whole, this is a really important lore part of the story that shouldn't be skipped over. This goes for Inquisitors who drank from the well as well, see what I did there? Who did not romance Solas. But it is especially important to those Lavellans who did romance him. Solas is clearly upsetted by the decision that Lavellan makes to enter herself into the service of an ancient elven god, who he later kills, we think? And it seems like it is a huge deal. I'm not sure how they could continue this plot line because I am not a professional writer or in the studio to know, but it just feels too important to skip over. The only way I can see them skipping this over is if Solas, who killed, I use this term loosely because is she really dead? Mythal took her power and releases the Inquisitor from this power over them, but what if he can't? What if if a romanced Inquisitor who drank from the well is still bound to that power? There are a lot more questions surrounding the Well of Sorrows than there are answers, so I will leave this here. I just hope it doesn't get skipped over, or we're at least given a short but satisfying answer to it. That's all for today. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see from Solas and Solavellan. I would love to make a video talking about your comments. At the end of the day, this is all just fun speculation, and I hope you enjoyed. Join my Discord to talk with me, and follow my Twitter to stay up to date. Have a good week, and may the Dreadwolf take you.